Hey everybody, Doug here with B&H, and today we have a really exciting announcement to talk about. This is Jesse from Canon. He's here to discuss this. This is the return of the C500 Mark II. There's a lot on the table here, but we're gonna start with the camera. This is the main body, and of course we have a 35mm cinema prime right here. So where do we start?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, you could see that we're sticking to the heritage of the Cinema EOS form factor, the idea that you can pull a camera out of a bag and go shoot. But what's completely different and new to this style of camera for us is the full frame sensor. So we're taking full frame and we're bringing it down into that more classic Cinema EOS style camera body that doesn't neglect the documentary filmmaker or the feature filmmaker and tries to bridge a gap between both, and offering the image quality, the recording capability of this new full frame world that we're starting to really navigate through now in cinema as a whole. For Canon, it's really an advancement across the board. From the processor, we're working off of a DIGIC 7 single processor, CF Express, a new recording format for us, obviously the 5.9K full frame sensor, and overall, this idea that shooting full frame shouldn't be a sacrifice for your Super 35. So we wanted to take sort of the theory and approach of the C500 full frame, that you could shoot a true 4K Super 35 crop, pixel for pixel, with no upscale, while still achieving the benefits of this higher resolution 5.9K full frame sensor.
So we obviously have a lot on the table, and we're gonna get to it all, but what comes with the camera itself?
Yeah, so again, out of the box, we want you to be able to shoot. So you have the camera body, the 4.3-inch touchscreen monitor, you have the top handle, the articulating arm for the monitor, similar to what you can expect in the C200.
Right.
Borrowing sort of that approach to having the level of articulation that brings the monitor to all these different positions. Yeah, this body recording internally to the CF Express cards, you could do 5.9K up to 60 frames per second, Cinema Raw Light. We also have 4K XFAVC 10-bit. So you're able to do your compressed recording for that, a little bit less strain on that workflow and post.
Right.
But the Cinema Raw Light, you have flavors across the board, across your resolutions, and across your sensor crops. So full frame, you could pull 5.9K or 4K Cinema Raw Light to 12-bit. When you go to 60p, you got that 10-bit Cinema Raw Light. Then Super 35, Cinema Raw Light once again. All recording internal. This is not external. We're not passing it out. This is all internal. For the XFAVC, you're doing up to 4K DCI, and you can do that as an oversample of the full frame sensor, or as your Super 35. Exactly, or as the crop. There's also a Super 16 crop mode, and that'll give you 2K, also Cinema Raw Light available for the Super 16 crop. And in that 2K crop, you get the higher frame rates up to 120 frames per second for your slow and fast motion.
All right, so let's talk about everything we see here.
Sure. So again, while we dive into these expansion units, your recording capability is not, in terms of your image quality, your resolutions, your frame rates, Cinema Raw Light, are not reliant upon these expansion units. All of that out of the box, you're getting all that Cinema Raw Light, 5.9K, all internal to the camera. The expansion units then give you various options and throughputs and expansion on the audio capability. So the first unit, the expansion unit 1, is the smaller of the units. It mounts on the back here. So you would take out these 2 screws, and then there's a port here, and it would just mount sort of seamlessly right in the back, and you'd screw it down. And that gives you your Genlock, Remote B, and your LAN.
Right.
So we expect that most users that need Genlock, and if that's the only that they're looking for, are gonna go with expansion unit 1. Expansion unit 2 gives you even more, all of those features, plus V-mount.
Amazing.
Power tap. And then you get 2 additional XLR audio inputs. That means in total, because there's 2 XLR audio inputs on the back of the camera, you're getting 4-channel XLR sound with dedicated
physical controls.
Exactly.
Awesome.
1 on the camera body and 1 here on the expansion unit 2. And then also the EVF. So over the last few years, we've noticed that the need for an EVF standard on a camera, it differs between customers, whether or not they like the fixed EVF. We're seeing more and more now that the trend is they want the option.
Right.
So in this instance, out of the box, you have the camera in this configuration. You can get the additional EVF, which would also, again, then mount right here. So you have that EVF option.
This is what I'm most excited about.
Yeah,
Can you
likewise.
tell us what these are?
Yes, this is an accessory. This is purchasable by our customers. You do not need to send the camera in to a factory. This is a PL mount accessory that swaps from the standard EF mount to PL. It's an active mount, which supports Cook Eye technology.
Wow.
So this is not, you're not sending this into Canon, it's not getting serviced. This is something you purchase, you do yourself, it comes with shims, and you can change your EF mount to PL.
There's a whole little contact here, yeah.
Exactly. So that's the EF lock accessory, which we also offer. So if you're using, let's say, our 30 to 300 EF lens, and you want, and it's an EF, and you want the locking capability for that stronger mounting contact, we have the EF lock accessory as well. But this is a very exciting, brand new to Cinema EOS.
Totally see this being in every camera owner's kit who has this or who will have this. And you know, expanding your lens options literally on set.
Well, and the exciting pairing is now we have Sumire. So how can we come out with our new C500 Mark II full frame and not take advantage of the full frame coverage of those Sumire lenses?
So I just want to get back a little bit to the recording formats and sort of the color spaces we've come to expect out of the Cinema EOS line. What's coming with this one?
Yeah, so you can expect 15 plus stops of dynamic range in Canon Log 2 and Canon Log 3. So those are our two log curves now. We're sticking with Canon Log 2 and Canon Log 3. Canon Log Original won't be included in the camera. To really take advantage of the dynamic range that we're offering, Canon Log 2 and Canon Log 3 is where you should be sitting. You also have HLG and PQ support.
Nice.
So really making sure that we're meeting the standards for whichever world you're shooting in. One of the first questions I asked was the processor.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with, some of our other cameras have 2 processors, the C500 has 3. So I asked, what are we dealing with in the C500 Mark II? It's a single chip DIGIC 7 processor. And what that signals, especially being at Canon for almost 7 years now, what that signals to me is the engineers are really pushing the technology that we're developing on the back end. Because for us to be able to achieve the 5.9K, the Cinema Raw Light,
it's a lot of data.
It's a lot. It's doing a lot.
Pushed,
so it signals to me what the future of Cinema EOS looks like. That the processors are getting faster, that we've moved to CF Express, that full frame is being brought into a form factor and a size and style that is typical of Cinema EOS, but now has the expandability to cover an even wider market of user, that you can now customize your form factor, your throughput, how you're managing and dealing with the physical interface of the camera itself. So it was, even for someone that works at Canon, a surprise and something that really exciting for what Cinema EOS looks like with the C500 Mark II and beyond.
This is really impressive, yeah. I mean, this is a cinema camera, ENG camera, everything in between. Strip it down and it's still, fully capable.
Right, and that's, including dual pixel autofocus, all the things that you expect from a more dock style, smaller camera, it's there also. So I can, throw an EF still lens on this camera and still be very, very small with my BPA 30 or BPA 60 battery and just really run and gun. But at the same time, I'm shooting 5.9K Cinema Raw Light 12-bit. If I want to, or I pop into those 4K XFABC 10-bit formats and stick with a more, that workhorse codec.
I think everyone's going to be excited about the C500 Mark II. I know I am. Thank you, Jesse, for joining us and showing us all these wonderful toys.
Yeah, of course.
I'm Doug with B&H, and I will see you next time.